Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shikhar Kamat, and I am psychic. I first discovered my powers when I was a teenager, on a rainy monsoon evening, when I was struck by lightning. Before I begin, I'd like to show you guys something. Hi there, the lady in the green dress. Hi, your name is? Devanshi. Hi, Devanshi. Could you please join me on stage? Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Can I have a mic, please? Hi, Devanshi. Thank you so much for doing this. Devanshi, I have a quick question for you. Yes. Before this, have you ever met a mind reader, or have you ever had your mind read by a psychic before?
No.
No. Good. I'd like to ask you something very quickly. Devanshi, I'd like you to think, take a moment, and I'd like you to get a few images in your mind, some visuals. Allow them to just drop into your mind, okay? I'm going to give you some pen and some paper. Here you go. Devanshi, I'd like you to take a few moments, and I'd like you to sketch out whatever it is. Have you got something in your mind? Yes? Yeah. And I'd like you to sketch out whatever it is. I want you to draw it onto this paper, right? Go ahead, take it. I'll take the mic from you. And make sure that I can't see whatever it is that you're drawing. And when you're done, come right back. I want you to take the pad and hold it close to your chest. I want you to step right here. So then make sure, put it close to your chest so that I can't see whatever it is. Let me have a go at this. While I'm doing this, I'm going to make a drawing of my own, Devanshi. But while I'm doing that, I'd like you to think about whatever it is that you've drawn on your pad. Yes? It'll try and maybe help me sort of connect you a little more. I want you to really picture it, whatever it is. I really want you to picture it in your mind, whatever it is that you've drawn. You're sensing a very sort of strong connection with you, Devanshi. I don't know what it is. It's very strange. It's something like a cross or a vegetable. No, it's a plant. And there's something round like a cactus and a banana. Okay. I don't know if this will work or not, but let's try. Something round. All right. I don't know if this will work or not, but let's try. All right, I'm done, Devanshi. Let's take a look, shall we? Why don't you step right here next to me. What is it that you drew, Devanshi? Let me take a look. All right, turn it around. Okay, so you drew a sun, something round like a cactus. Okay, you drew a cloud and a house. Interesting. Now, Devanshi, before I go ahead, have we set anything up? Have you written something down? No. I'd say it wasn't exactly the same, but I'd say it was probably close enough. I drew a sun, a banana, and a house. I'd say that's close enough. Yes? Thank you so much, Devanshi. I'll take that from you and I'll send you back. No. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's try that again, shall we? I'm Shikhar Kamat, and I am not a psychic. I have never been struck by lightning. In fact, I'm what they call a psychological illusionist. I've based my career on a mix of magic, psychology, showmanship, and misdirection to create the illusion of reading minds. Magic is a very, very beautiful art form that leaves us with a sense of absolute wonder. Wonder is that feeling that we get when we experience something profound, something much bigger, much more powerful than ourselves. It can happen when we encounter things that change our sense of realities and ideas of what we think is normal or possible. And that's the thing about magic. Magic always leaves us with hope and positivity. Magic it's very, very important. It's a very important part of the world, and it always has been. Historically, magic has always pushed the boundaries of what is considered impossible, and has the ability to amaze, to mystify and inspire us all at the same time. In fact, if you think about it, magic has always flourished when societies have failed. When wars happen, that is when artists and magicians, they come when people need fantasy, a release. Now we live at a time in the world where there are a lot of bad things happening everywhere, and people are yearning for fantasy. If you look back 20 years ago at the films that were made in the past, stories were mostly based on realism. And if you look at the films made today, most of them are about superheroes, characters with abilities, superpowers, maybe alternative universes. All the while the focus being on a fantasy where good triumphs over evil. And that's what's important. Now, while magic, while it encourages us to question our belief systems, magic also tends to make us sort of remind us of what Socrates meant when he said that the only thing that we know for sure is that we don't know anything at all. And that's the funny thing. Belief is a funny thing. Faith is a very funny thing, because faith is sort of like an oxymoron, because faith is essentially, in its nature, a lie that we believe in until we turn it into reality. So, in a way, it's an oxymoron. It conflicts itself. The idea of faith, as powerful as the idea of faith is also a resource for blind faith and superstition. And blind faith and superstition is a huge, widespread social problem in India. In fact, there's entire industries built around the foundation of the need to believe. Carl Sagan said that you can't convince a believer of anything, because his need to believe is not based on evidence. It's based on a deep-seated need to believe. But at the same time, we need to remember what Gandhi said when he said that faith should be reinforced with reason. When faith becomes blind, it dies. We live in a country where we live around swamis, fake prophets, charlatans who claim to be messengers of God. And we have everything from peddlers who sell rings to godmen who prescribe a change in chutney for a change in fate, to religious leaders who make their own films where they pose as superheroes. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Just like that, there's an entire industry built around astrologers, around the need to believe, which consists of astrologers, fortune tellers, tarot card readers, numerologists, palmists, fortune tellers, psychics, the list goes on. But the idea of blind faith, it's a very funny one. Superstitions, we tend to be taught superstitions when we are kids, or our family passes it on to us. And then as we grow older, we tend to sort of take them along with us. Being superstitious it can affect the way we think, it can affect our behavior, it can affect our state of mind. For some reason, people like to have the idea that they can figure out, they can make sense of everything that happens around them. They like the idea that they can predict what is going to happen to them. And superstition is basically a possibility of something good happening, or chances of reducing the odds of something bad happening. For example, let's say you bought a lucky ring and you wore it for a job interview. If you end up getting the job, you come away believing that this ring has mystical powers that is beneficial to you. Meanwhile, you overlook all the times where you've worn that ring and nothing special has happened. Now, while this idea seems like a pretty innocent one, superstition and blind faith can kill people. I'm talking about religious group practices like sati, like female genital mutilation, all the way to witchcraft, black magic, faith healing, and even the rejection of medicine. Black magic and blind faith and superstition is a plague for India. Now, while we would like to believe that superstition is not harmful, it actually could be responsible for killing a lot of people. For example, in recent years, the deaths of multiple activists who protested and raised their voice and campaigned against superstitions and blind faith bears testimony to this very fact. I'd like to share a story with you. When I was much younger, I started out on the streets of Bombay as a street magician, and I worked my way up onto the stage. It didn't take me very long to figure out that magicians and psychics use the very same methods. On one hand, magicians use them to entertain people, and on the other hand, psychics use them to exploit the gullible. And I'd like to sort of share a story with you, because now the claims that these people make are very, very serious. The claims that these psychics make, they're very serious. And we would love to believe them. We would love it if it were true, and we would love to be blown away by it. When I was a kid, I had a special relationship with a family friend of mine, an uncle. I used to call him Uncle Anand, and he was one of my best friends. So he used to play this joke on me. Whenever he would see me, he would creep up behind me and touch me on my right shoulder, and I would turn around to my right just to find him laughing at me on my left. And this became sort of an inside joke between us, because whenever I saw him, I'd do the same thing back to him. So I'd go up behind him, I'd tap him on his shoulder, and he'll turn around just to find me laughing at him on his left. This was a very special bond that we sort of created. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago because of some intestinal issues. Anyways, sometime later, I found myself walking the streets of Bombay on the road, and I was lost in my own thoughts. And very strangely, I felt a tap on my shoulder, on my right shoulder. Instinctively, I just looked to my left to find no one. And just then, a bus went hurtling past me. And that's when I realized that there was a bus behind me, and if I had not felt that touch, I would probably have been run over by the bus. And that was not it. Probably a year later, I was at an airport waiting for a flight. It was delayed, and I found myself feeling drowsy. And as I felt drowsy, I actually started falling asleep, just when I felt a touch on my right shoulder, and I instinctively looked at my left. I woke up, and I saw there was a glass table to my left, which I had barely noticed. And if I had fallen asleep, I would have probably ended up falling on the glass table and hurting myself pretty bad. And that was strange, and that is when I knew, I was pretty sure that my uncle is always around me in some way or the other. Anyways, I'd like to show you guys something. For this next bit, I'd like to pick a few of you at random from the audience. Hi, the girl in the checked shirt right there. Yes, you. And a The gentleman in the grey T-shirt right here. Yes. Hi. Could you please join me on stage? Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Your name is?
Nihar.
Nihar. Hi. And your name is?
Kanksha.
Kanksha. Why don't you step right this way? Thank you, Nihar. Thank you, Kanksha, for doing this. We're going to try a little experiment with the two of you. I'd like. Have you been friends, Nihar and Kanksha? No. Do you know each other? No. Nihar, have we set anything up? Have I ever met you before?
No.
No. And Kanksha, we haven't exchanged any information. Do you have any idea what's about to happen now? No. Fair enough. Kanksha, I'd like you to let me know if you feel something. Look right there in the audience. Put your hand down for me. Thank you so much. Do you feel this? Yes. Nihar, do you feel this?
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. Now, Kanksha, I'd like you to shut your eyes and don't open them until I tell you to. Don't worry, I won't do anything strange. In a moment, Kanksha, I'm going to raise your hand and put it up. Okay? Keep your eyes shut and don't open them until I tell you to. I'm going to do this and keep it right here. Okay. Do you feel this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Do you feel this, Nihar? Yes. Okay, from now on, Kanksha, I'd like you to remember anything that you feel. If you feel something, I want you to remember it. Don't react at all, just remember it if you feel something. Kanksha, yes or no? Keep your eyes shut. Yes or no? Yes. Did you feel something?
Yes.
Yes. Kanksha, keep your eyes shut. Can you point with your other hand exactly where you felt the touch? Okay. Keep your eyes shut. Kanksha, exactly how many touches did you feel?
3.
3. Very well. Kanksha, I'd like you to put your hand down and you can open your eyes now. Kanksha, how do you feel? How do you feel? You feel good? Yes? Everything's normal?
Yeah.
Yes. I'd like to tell you. how did that feel? How did that feel exactly? Soft.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to tell you, Kanksha, that I never ever touched you. In fact, I touched Nihar right here on his hand and you felt it all the way across the stage. And everybody bore witness to that. Thank you so much, Kanksha. I'll send you back. Thank you so much for being a sport. Thank you so much, Nihar. I'll send you back. Thank you. Thank you. Remember I told you that I knew that my uncle Anand was always going to be around me. You just happened to be introduced to him. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my uncle. Of course, I forgot to tell you one small detail. My uncle Anand was a figment of my imagination. He never existed. I completely made him up. Now I don't claim to have any supernatural powers or any abilities, yet it is that simple to make someone talk or meet the dead. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, it is important for us to not fall prey to blind belief. It is important for us to, on one hand, not fall prey to blind faith, and on the other hand, keep our eyes open and keep space for magic and wonder. Thank you so much. I'm Shikhar Kamat and you've been amazing. Thank you so much.